Since I'm telling the truth and King Crimson are liars, I figure I can just about say anything sort of at random. Might be helpful. Peter's show was secretly taping with the office of Jaime Carbonell the night I got back from helping Brecker um, pick up tons and tons of stuff to discard in the dumpster. And I wasn't paid or anything. Peter Shaw was um, going, porking anybody lately, which is a Breckerism. He always uses that word about making love. And I brushed off, they extruded an implant. And something I had heard from when I was being controlled by old men from Climax 1 as a child. I didn't even really identify it. It's just something I blurted. So Reagan was told Queerwall regurgitated the implant on cue. So now we get to use him for further Holocaust experimentation. They had gassed me as a little boy. And it took me up to their AIDS Venus flytrap. And Penis Sinfield was saying, no, no. He threatened Leslie, and UW Dialectic came swooping down like clack, 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 robo reptiles, you know. We'll poison you. And it was a dialectic. It was technically truthful, not a threat. Emotionally, it percolated with what they claimed was immaturity. And they hired a virgin to hit on me because they knew that it was like a plunger. They knew that the implant had clogged my neurology. And and the way they weaseled out was, it was a joke, man. It was a joke, man. Ho, 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 ho. Because McCartney wants his grandmother's ring. And Ono wants his poetry. His compensation for what? Their partnership with Gail Burston, who wrote these letters, which were part of the stick up of our society that the Zionists engineered. And they were robbing the museums and giving these books to McCartney, promising him my grandmother's ring. You know, they would break into our house and get it for him if they had to, or use nuclear magnetic resonance to disappear it and pop it in this magic hat. They used it on my stove. They broke the element. You know, it's an element of trust. Remember the Sixth Sense or whatever. It's in movies. You know, they overlap it. Movies are their reality. This is their tonic. They have Swami Nostra. Patrick Buchanan puts something about a chink in AIDS armor because I mentioned Ming-Na Wen. I mean, it was deadly sickening stuff. Like that identified why they used Bork, right? Because pork and ventriloquist tied her up and porked her with a carrot. Ho, ho, ho. I was just brushing on, yeah, sure, Pete, tied her up and porked her with a carrot, you know, which is the lewdest thing I heard people talk about. And they were like, oh, he really did that. You see, and they were ready to do that. That was revolution number 9. It was a professional pornography group. The person in question and the issue in question was all easily resolved. Everybody heard that story. It was a flight of fancy for these creeps from Butler and Climax One, and they all laughed about it, even the girl. In fact, she took my tickets to Genesis selling by the pound and went out with them. So it was Carbonell's natural language to it, something that Hebes thought up. And they impinged on the persona's experience, is how they put it. I'm going to get some tea. If you want to hear more, I'll come back and chat a little more. You have to remember, John Lennon's sacred, really, he loves these people. The boy who attacked me and brutalized me was regaled. Yoko Ono said, oh, the poor pitman who tortured and kidnapped Queerbait, dragged him through glass and gassed him. Oh, the poor boys. While they were pounding me in the head over and over and over again. It was like being tasered in the face thousands of times with this neuroplasm that they implanted, that they plunged it into seizures. I was screaming and screaming. My eye was doing ocular gyrations. One would get real big, one would get real little. I pressed my face to the cement for comfort, and they're saying, oh, the poor boys who did it to him. That's Hitler, Reagan, Clint Eastwood, Donald Trump. Robert Fripp was their mastermind, a real villain. A real villain. These people authorized the libertinage. One of them is a kook from Yoko Ono's legal foundation who is an attorney for hair, protecting the people who are proven to have released the AIDS virus, because somebody has to get kicked off the earth. It might as well be the moral degenerates. And they had a couple people who gave it to themselves, martyrs, like Aaron Bushnell did. One of them was Sean Straub, another was named Michael Foucault. And they had this thing called Foucault's pendulum. Did he threaten Leslie? She was still a virgin. Did he threaten Leslie? She was still a virgin. Did he threaten Leslie? She was still a virgin. You see the pendulum they played? They had it all cognated. In other words, I didn't think any of it up. I detected it and tried to get help identifying where it was coming from, what kind of construct it was, who had tortured me, why, what were they doing? You understand? Of course you understand. You're the ones who did it to me. You're murderers.